So Mark Bowden here with Michael Leckie for our Career Ask Me Anything. If you've got questions about your career, then just go to michaelleckie.com/ask or place your question anywhere around in any box that you can find that will accept your input. Here's a question that came in. How can I turn my disability into a strength or unique advantage in my career, viewing it as a limitation? How can I turn my disability into a strength or unique advantage in my career, viewing it as a limitation?
Or rather than viewing it as, is that rather than viewing it as a limitation?
Sorry, I cut it. That's why. I was thinking that question doesn't really make any sense. Let me read that again for you. How can I turn my disability into a strength or unique advantage in my career rather than viewing it as a limitation? Michael, help us out with this one.
Excellent. Well, I think, and this is similar to the way I started to answer another question that was around disability and career, which is, I think part of the answer is in the question, how can I turn it into a strength or unique advantage? Yes, how can you do that? You need to think about it for you. What is the strength or advantage you have? And those can be found anywhere. So I'm going to tell you actually a quick story in answering this about a friend of mine. I'm not going to use his name at this point, although he's well known. And he was he grew up poor, and he grew up with a difficult home life. He also had severe dyslexia, and he had some traumatic head injuries as a kid. And so he's probably in his late 50s now. And at the time, they regularly used the R word, retarded. He was labeled retarded, and his mother was told that the best you can ever hope for this kid is probably digging a ditch. He's not going to amount to anything in the world. He is retarded. Of course, now he teaches at Harvard, Northwestern, and MIT, and has been responsible for more inventions that I can think of, and has created ways of looking at the world, which are amazing. So how did he do that with these limitations that they had said, your limit is really low? Well, his mother talked to him and said, you're going to have to think of a different way to look at the world and figure it out. And he knew that he couldn't figure it out by reading because he couldn't really read. And he couldn't do it by writing because he couldn't really write. So what did he do? He had to learn how to get people to talk to him and help fill in the blanks because he could hear it and he could work with it. And so he developed ways of engaging with people that meant they had to do it orally as opposed to in writing. And that became the basis for the work that he did, which has had a huge impact on the field that he works in and has made him globally known for the work that he does. Now, everyone's story is not going to be so dramatic, but it could be, because he said, I've got to figure it out. I have got to understand how do I overcome this obstacle. And in fact, overcoming struggle has become the core of what he talks about, and he is known for it. And he says to me, there is no growth without struggle. And I don't think there are truer words than I've ever heard. You have to go through things. You have to learn. So remember, what you have is you have a unique advantage in the fact that you have a disability. What is the way you're going to leverage that unique advantage? And you need to really be open about what that could be. You need to really spend some time thinking about what perspective on the world does this give me that people without this disability don't have. How is this disability a superpower? Because there's always something there. Once you identify, I think, that core competency of your disability, then you can start to say, where is that core competency valuable in life? And you can begin to use it. And I think of all the people I work with, they all have strengths that under stress and duress can become derailers. And they all have things they perceive as gaps or weaknesses that when viewed as what's the potential strength can be something amazing. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think great. First of all, great story and great viewpoint on this. Here's what I'd say is that an employer, an organization, a business is not just employing people for tasks done. They're employing human beings because of the way and the style and the attitude and the atmosphere with which they will do those tasks. So I would accept somebody who doesn't do the task so well, maybe because of what people would call a disability. Why? Because they're the kind of person you need around. because having that person around means that it motivates other people. It makes other people's days better. That person might be just a more accepting, but they may have more grit in them. So I want you to think about, if you have something that others or you might call a disability, what about it has made life better? Maybe not for you. Maybe there's nothing about it that makes life better for you. Okay. I mean, that might be absolutely true. I know some people with some disabilities who are like, nobody should have this. Nobody would want this. There is nothing good about it. However, it maybe has given you a certain personality, or it's maybe having that around other people gives them a certain vantage and viewpoint and atmosphere and place to be, which gives them an advantage. You as a human being could be an advantage to other people. And I'll tell you this, a great employer, whether they're a business or an organization, will want to be buying that, and they should be buying that. They should be buying that, because otherwise, if they're not, let's just get machines to do everything and give up this idea of work, because who needs people? Who needs people? Look, why are people great? Because we as people like to be around other people, not all other people. And yeah, we have off days, and some of us like to be around people less. I get that, but without other people, we do all die. I mean, that's just the nature of things. We need support. Yeah. And so any organization needs that supportive environment. And maybe you are a key element, maybe the axle or the linchpin to that support mechanism. So just think about it. What about your potential disability has made life more interesting and better? And go out and promote that to organizations. Listen,
I love it.
If you've got questions for us, then michaelleckie.com/ask, or put them in any box you find anywhere to reach out to us. See you soon.